So I will first share the presentation.
And recording is in progress, huh? We have to
Yes.
announce it. Yeah.
So good afternoon and good morning. Welcome to you all. We're pleased to welcome you to the second webinar of the Asia Pacific GPP Network. My name is Sophie Loueyraud and I work at UNEP in the Sustainable Public Procurement team as a project coordinator. I am here with my colleagues from UNEP, Mr. Farid Yaker and Mr. Jakob Hanertz, and also with our KEITI colleagues, Mr. An, who will give the main presentation today of GPP implementation in Korea. And I'm also pleased to have with us other KT colleagues, Ms. Chung Yumi and Ms. Choi Jaeyeon, who will give a short introduction of themselves a bit later. So in terms of agenda, after these few welcoming words from the Secretariat, Farid will give us a presentation regarding a short update on the network's activities. And we will then continue with the main presentation from Mr. An. And after Mr. An's presentation, which will last for about 30 minutes, we will have a short question and answer sessions, which will last for 15 minutes. And then Farid will close with a few words. Just a few rules with regard to the webinar. If you have any questions during the presentation, we'll invite you to please share those via the chat box, knowing that this chat box, if you're getting connected with your mobile phone, is available from the top right corner of the screen. And also, please note that this webinar is recorded and that, of course, PDF presentations will be shared with the audience after the meeting. Now I will give the floor to Ms. Choi and Ms. Chung from KT so that they can introduce themselves. Ms. Choi,
We can't hear you.
would you like to start? I have unmuted you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm Jaeyeon Choi from Korea Environmental Industry and Technology Institute. And thank you, Sophie, for introducing me and also for helping to organize this event. And although virtually, I'm really glad to meet all of you in the GPP network for the first time today. And I'm glad to be here representing KT, which I believe have been working with the UNEP since 2019 for this network specifically. And I would like to thank the UNEP team, Farid, and all the members for the activities regarding this network and for organizing this event as well. And I also thank all of the participants who are here today to use your valuable time to listen to the Korean case, and also thank in advance to Mr. An for presenting for us today. And I hope we can have a very fruitful and helpful webinar today, and also hope we can meet each other in person in the near future as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So yes, Ms. Chung, I see you unmuted yourself.
Hello, my name is Yumi Chung, and I completely agree with Jaeyeon Choi about thanking all of your hard work for organizing webinar and as well as participating in different events related to this. And I'm very glad that I'll be part of the GPP network and I'll be the major focal point from now on for this event. And I look forward to the close cooperation between UNEP and KEITI in the near future. Not only this with the GPP network, but it can also extend it to different activities by the UNEP as well, as we believe that we are closely cooperating with different entities of the umbrella under the umbrella of the UNEP. And I really hope that we have something learned today, and then we can share our thoughts and experiences together. And on the basis of that, in the future, we can build on something else more valuable with the UNEP and KEITI. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Chung. So I'll now give the floor to Farid for a short update about the network's activities.
Yes, and before that, I'd like also to introduce myself and express my appreciation to our friends from KEITI for their support and for their presence today in this webinar, and also to Ms. An for providing also his time and experience knowledge to really disseminate the Korean experience. We have dedicated the whole publication to the Korean experience on GPP, which for us is one of the leading in the world, one of the most valuable, one that needs to receive inspiration from other countries. And this is one of the main objectives of this network, is really to learn from each other, to disseminate the knowledge in order to accelerate the shift to sustainable public procurement. So the collaboration with KEITI dates back to 2013 at least. That's when we started the first Asia Pacific GPP and eco-labeling network. And then we had numerous opportunities of collaboration. The Republic of Korea led the One Planet Sustainable Public Procurement Network until 2018. It contributed to many publications of UNEP, including the Global Review, and it is contributing to this year, the third edition of the Global Review, which will come out at the end of the year. So it's a very dense, very close collaboration, and we're really appreciative of your support and also the spirit of the collaboration, which is also demonstrated today. So thank you very much, and looking forward to really expanding even in the future our collaboration. Ms. Chung and Ms. Choi and Ms. An. So Sophie, can we move to the next slide?
Sure.
So I'm not going to dwell on the objectives, because I think we all know that and I already said that one of the objectives was really to learn from each other. I also said that KEITI was the main supporter, but we are also having a close collaboration with the South Asia Cooperative Environment Program, SACEP. Of course, we aim to contribute to the objectives of the One Planet SPP program that was initiated by UNEP and which is also co-led now by UNEP. And we also want to synergize our work with the International Green Purchasing Network. Next. So the objective, as I said, learn from each other, but also identify the concrete needs of the countries to really provide solutions for GPP, promote awareness, build capacity also of policymakers. This is what we are doing today, serve as an information platform for green procurement. We have started doing that well with a LinkedIn group, a web page. We have also the newsletter, and also we have these periodical webinars. Next. For those of you who are not aware, we have two levels of membership. We have a core group which is comprised of representatives from national government and agencies, which are usually in charge of designing and implementing GPP policies. Then we have a second level group, which is larger, and it includes procurers, practitioners, academia, representatives from cities and subnational governments, NGOs, public interest advocates, private sector are members of this group. It's open group. Next. So here you see the list of countries. I'm not going to go into the details. Next. And we now have 78 individual members in this large group, larger network from 20 countries. You have them on the screen. 20 countries from the world, actually. Next one. Next. So in terms of planned activities, I think what I wanted to stress is that we have finalized the program of the webinars, and we are pleased to announce that our colleagues from UNEP are responding really positively. So after having presented the experience from China and the Philippines, and today Korea, we're going to have a presentation on sustainable infrastructure from our colleagues. We will have another country presentation on 26 October. We still have to allocate it to a country. And then in November, we'll have another thematic webinar on green eco-efficient cooling appliances from our colleagues from United from Efficiency, who are really specialists on the energy efficiency and also the procurement of energy efficient products, and in this case, of cooling appliances. Next. Then, as I mentioned, our communication activities are progressing, and thank you to Sophie and Jacob for the good work, and the colleagues from KEITI for supporting. And we also have monitoring. We're working on supporting also countries on 12.71, which is the target, the SDG target related to sustainable procurement. So we have we have a specific focus on the Asia Pacific region in the upcoming 2021 UNEP Global Review of SPP. I said it earlier that Korea is supporting that, and we have collected questionnaires on GPP implementation, which are feeding country fact sheets, and we're planning to publish case studies based on the experience learned from the GPP Plus project led by Korea. So this is going to be included in the 2021 Global Review. Next. Next is thank you. And so Kansamnida, and I will now hand over to Mr. An for the presentation.
Thank you very much, Farid. So, Mr. An, I will upload and share your presentation.
Yes.
Maybe you could say a few words to introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Upload the presentation.
Yeah. My name is Joon An from KEITI. I'm an associate researcher in Green Transition Office. And today I'm here to talk about experiences in operating GPP in Korea. So I believe Korea has been mentioned multiple times in the case studies of UNEP or OECD and other international organizations for advancement of GPP. So I believe not many countries have such a supreme quality of GPP system, so that functions really well compared to other parts of the world. So I am going to share the goodness of the GPP system, and as well as the where we can improve as well in terms of the operating system. So yeah.
Thank you very much. So your presentation is uploaded now and is shared with attendees.
Are you going to, do I have to say every time I move to the next slide? Okay.
Yes, please.
All right. So yeah, here's a table of contents. The first thing I'm going to talk about is legal and policy framework. Second one would be implementing mechanism. The third one, monitoring and measuring benefits. And fourth, the way forward. Next. So I am going to introduce a little bit about our organization, KEITI. It's a quasi-government organization affiliated with the Korea Ministry of Environment. Our mission is to contribute to sustainable development through developing eco-technology, nurturing environmental industry, safeguarding environmental health, and promoting eco-friendly consumption and lifestyle. Next. So the first part would be the legal and policy framework. Next. You can skip it. Next.
Okay.
So KSDG, it's a Korean version of SDG. So it was developed by the Ministry of Environment in Korea in 2018. And our vision was to make the nation more inclusive and sustainable. So we had 4 strategies: the inclusive society, environmental conservation, economic growth that improves the quality of life, human rights and peace, global cooperation. And we had 17 targets, and among the 17 targets, the 12th one was the sustainable consumption and production. And the Ministry of Environment has set the goal of the Green Public Procurement rates from 35.2% to 70% by 2030, which is very a big challenge for us. And also, we want to nurture the eco-labeled companies so we can increase the number of eco-labeled products in consumption goods. So we want to increase it by about 20 by 2030. Next. Hey, Sophie.
Yes,
Hello?
I have switched to the next one, to the SCP policies in Korea.
But I think it's better for us to just, if I do the moving the slides. So can you make me the...
Then you have to share your presentation
Oh, okay.
from
I
your
see.
computer.
Okay. Then we'll just do it this way.
Okay.
So we'll go on. So SCP policies in Korea. We started our first action plan in 2006. So every 5 years, we develop a action plan for promoting the green products. So we are now on to the 4th action plan right now, and so promoting purchase of green products, and it's reflecting the Korean Green New Deal, which was developed last year actually, and there are various policies to support such actions, and we're actually moving into, I think, the right approach, making the nation more sustainable and try to make it more, greener. So our main focus was to increase the purchase of green products, and it's working quite well so far. So the baseline for the action plan derives from the law called the Action on Promotion of Purchase of GPP, in short for GPP Act. And that's actually the next slide. So can you move to the next slide?
Yes.
Yeah. So the program started in 1992, and we enforced the Act on Encouragement of purchase of green products in 2005. Next. So what we have right here, our law enforces public institutions to mandatorily purchase green products. So we have about more than 40,000 public institutions mandatorily purchasing green products right now. The definition of green products includes the eco-labeled products, low carbon products, and good recycled product. All three different eco-labeled products. So next. So part 2, implementing mechanism. Next. So here's a diagram of working mechanism. And you can see there's many stakeholders involved. And I believe that, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, I think GPP in Korea is quite advanced because of the electronic system we have. So in this picture, there's so many stakeholders. So you see, you know, the Ministry of Environment and KEITI. We collect GPP plans and records, monitoring duty, and etc. And also we have public institutions to actually purchasing green products and reporting the records to KEITI. And also all the public institutions purchase the green products via PPS system, which is a public procurement service. So all that records, purchase records that public institution has done, it transfers to public procurement service, and then that data moves to the system that we have, KEITI has. So there are many stakeholders, yet it's very convenient because it's electronically done, and because it's electronically done, it's very convenient. There's no paperwork, and quite fast. Next. So as of May 2019, we have about 15,000 products supplied by approximately 4,000 companies on 165 product categories. So we can see how the industry of green products has massively developed and grown. So here's a picture of some product categories in details. So here's office equipment and supplies. That includes fax machines, printers, copying paper, toners, and others. And electronics as well, TV, conditioners, air conditioners, computer, and laptop computer as well. We also have consumable supplies such as toilet paper, detergents, cleaner, garbage bags, and whatnot. Yeah. Next slide. We have furniture equipment as well. So office furniture, chair, pipes, and others. We have many construction materials as well. So bricks, wallpapers, asphalt concrete, and insulation as well. Next. So we have many different ways to measure and support our system. So the first one is that, like I said, we have an electronic system, and that system is called Green Product Information Platform. So this site is our main source of information for GPP in Korea. So currently we have 4 staff working on monitoring duty. So to support GPP, we have that information platform site which publishes GPP guideline every year, and we provide both online and offline trainings, and we have fiscal incentives as well. So states that perform well, they are incentivized and prized because they have done great work in, green procurement. And if you grow, we have a percentage rate to reward states who have done the GPP well. So there's some incentives as well for the officers who's been doing so great. And we also have every June or July, we share the best practices. So we hold annual workshops to exchange best practices among the GPP officers. Next. Yes. So how to monitor GPP? Like I said, we have the main information platform which monitors implementation plans and records for GPP. And we analyze the reason why public institutions didn't purchase the green products, and we try to encourage all the public institutions to, purchase the green products because it's all rooted in the law, and because it's written in law, it's the public institutions have to purchase the green products. But because of other reasons and competitive field, we are not able to make the GPP 100%. Currently, we are on, I think 40% is our max. Next. So here's some graphs that show the growth of public GPP. So Korea's GPP has been recorded around $3.8 billion in 2020, which has increased more than 4.8 times compared to the ones in 2005. So yes, next. So the monitoring results, if you can look at the composition of GPP by product groups. So 2017, the biggest expenditures were on building and construction materials. And it has been that pattern since 2013. And I believe 2020 as well, the biggest spending was on building and construction materials. Next. So composition and percentage of GPP by organization. So the biggest spender was public enterprise, and the second biggest was the educational authorities, and the third was the quasi-government. And I'm actually surprised local government was not the highest. It usually is, but I think, yeah. So the biggest spender was the public enterprises. Next. So the percentage by the product groups, yeah, it's next. So every year, after our training, we pass out a little paper to survey all the participants, and we ask them, what's the main obstacles to doing GPP, and a lot of people said it's because it's lack of diverse products. So there aren't many product types, I guess, in Korea. And I think people want more diverse product categories as well. Even though we have about 165 product types, which is compared to other countries, it's a lot. But I think public officers are they want more diverse products. And also, I think in 2020, the survey said the quality of products is the main issue. So low quality was the reason that people prefer other types of products rather than buying green products. Next. So this graph shows that the growth of market in green products. Next. And this graph shows the environmental impacts on using green products. Next. Next. So the Korean GPP has been applauded for many occasions, and I think the UNEP has in many times included Korean cases to show that Korea has been doing so well in terms of GPP, and we actually was introduced as the best practice to support SDG goal 12 during the 5th of Asia Pacific Forum on Sustainable Development in 2018 in Thailand. Next. We held an international forum in 2019. The title was the Green Public Procurement as the driver to achieve SDGs. And I believe Farid has spoken in that forum as well. Next. We also done many business initiatives to increase the percentage of GPP. So we have a business called Leading City Network on Green Public Procurement. So collaborating with the local governments, KEITI has made many plans for GPP enhancements, and it's mostly giving consultation on GPP, which products to buy in order to increase the percentage of GPP. And also, you know, because of so many questions about the quality of green products, we also have done many research on different types of product categories. So such as, for example, we have done a paper on asphalt concrete because so many people are not in favor of using eco-labeled asphalt concrete. We have done some research on how to increase the percentage of GPP in that certain categories, and also improving the quality of asphalt concrete as well. And also the network activities include the activities like workshops, trainings, and GPP guideline for each product that we have in 165 product categories, and opening up a policy market forum. And we also have done Twin City Network, which was the webinar series connecting Korea to other countries, you know, sharing and exchanging the experiences among the cities. Next. And there are other sources on GPP in Korea. So like I said, we have, you know, plotted for best case and awards on GPP. Next. So summarizing our success factors, because we were clear, we had a clear legal and policy framework for GPP. It was quite successful in terms of implementing the law and implementing the system. And GPP categories based on eco-labeling, because we had a strong eco-labeling guidelines, we were able to you know, distinguish which product is categorized into green products, which is not. And we had a well-established electronic procurement system to allow easier monitoring and easier reporting as well. And we had financial incentives to support cities and other states in order to encourage purchase of green products. And we had a clear roles. We had a distinguished role in different types of organizations, such as PPS and our organization as well, and the Ministry of Environment and local government as well. So our challenges include different SPP procurement regulation and lack of awareness and lack of frequent changes of public procurers, and lack of policy commitment by the head of an organization. And I want to explain a little bit of our challenges. So different SPP procurement regulations are competing because once the local government wants to buy, let's say, woman-led enterprise, they want to buy products from woman-led enterprise, but because we are the local government are binded by the law to purchase green products, it's quite conflicting. So I think there needs to be some clarification on in terms of law, because it's quite confusing for procurers to focus on procuring which types of products. And also, I think there are lack of education in terms of GPP because every Korean government they allow procurers to rotate in every 2 or 3 years. So once you get the hang of the job that you have to do, after 2 or 3 years, you need to rotate into other office or other team, which is quite confusing for procurers because they have to learn new laws and new regulations depending on which product categories you are assigned to. So yeah, if you're assigned to green public procurement, you are only allowed to stay in that role for 2 to 3 years, and then you have to change your role into other types. And also lack of policy commitment. So this happens mainly in local governments. So local government, the heads of local governments, they, depending on whether they want to commit to green public procurement or not, it really depends on their taste of policy drive. So if the head of the organization are not they're not interested in, let's say, GPP, then the whole the office would not be in favor of GPP. So it's a struggle to encourage GPP and support the local governments to purchase green products. Next. So our way forward would be raising political profile of GPP through public outreach, provide in-depth technical assistance to the different organizations. So we provide consultations, how to improve GPP and how to implement system and provide solutions. And also we provide monitoring system and communication results as well. Engage and support suppliers to increase capacity to supply green products. So in big picture, we want to expand our green product industry. And in order to do so, I think the public institutions has to do it first. So the private industry has to follow after. The fourth would be identify obstacles and come up with the solutions to promote GPP. And the fifth, contribute to delivering the SDG target 12.7 in Asian Pacific regions. Next. All right. Thank you very much for listening. And if you have any questions, I am happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Mr. An. So while we wait for the audience to share a few questions through the chat, I have a few questions. First of all, thank you very much for a very insightful presentation. I think especially the key success factors and challenges that you mentioned were very interesting. And with regard to the development of GPP implementation at an early stage, what would be, according to you, the most important actions to take? For example, developing first the legal framework, or encouraging the private sector to develop eco-labeled products, or training? So in your opinion, what would be the most important steps to take and if possible, in order of priority?
Yeah, I believe the reason why we had such a success was that the physical, like the law came first, and the strong law that made every public organizations to mandatorily purchase green products, that came first. So that's why we had such a, you know, incredible success in terms of implementing GPP, is because, you know, we allow local government, if we allow local government to just freely purchase any types of you know, products, they would not choose the green products. But because we made the law to mandatorily purchase green products, that's probably the main reason why local government started to purchase green products. And at first, at the early stage of our implementation, we didn't have much success because of the unreliable or not very good quality of products, green products. But because we allow the industry to develop, and it took time, quite some time, so 10 years to develop. Now our industry has developed so much that, you know, the technical or the technology in terms of making green products has grown massively. So I think now there's no distinguish between, you know, regular products and green products, or actually green product is better in terms of quality. So I think that the key was that the legal bound or legal grounds to really push other governments to purchase green products was the key.
Mhm. Thank you.
Sophie,
And did
I
you
have
use
follow-up? Yeah, go ahead, Sophie. I have a
yes,
follow-up
did you
question
use
after.
any incentives from the start? Specific incentives on top of this, like awards, or mostly the legal framework?
Yeah, we actually, you know, it started in 2005, so it's been, you know, been going on quite so long. But so I don't have all the data, but I'm sure they have done all the incentive system since the beginning of the purchase system. So it came along with the law and the incentive programs. So we would, I think we sent procurers to other developed countries like Europe or America to learn from their system and adopt their system to make it our own and try to make it better even. So yeah, those
Thank you.
incentives really drove the procurers to devote into their work as well.
Sophie, I have a
Thank
follow-up
you.
question.
And yes,
Yes,
Farid.
first I would like to welcome really now we have a good number of attendees from the network. Put my video on. Yeah, I'd like to, yeah, we have, as I said, a good number. I'd like to welcome Amir from Israel. We have Shayod. Sorry, some of them I don't see where you come from, but we have friends from Japan, Hiro from China. Hello, Jing. We have Chakorn from Thailand. Sorry, hello, Susie from Indonesia. Roberto from Italy. Susan is joining us from Healthcare Without Harm. Again, friends from Israel, China, etc. So welcome all of you. My question is, and thank you for an excellent presentation, is are you achieving your goal of transforming markets through GPP? Because I found out last time I visited you, there was kind of an issue with some companies working only for government. Their market was only government, and they were not able either to export or to sell outside government, to private sector or individual consumers. That was an issue we had noted last time. Thank you.
Yeah. So in Korea, we try to give the benefit to small companies that are struggling or not very competitive. So we try to give them more incentives in terms of taking business or taking winning the yeah. So we try to give them more incentives, but I think compared to last year or 2 years ago, our system has that problem is still existing, but we are trying to solve it by doing more business with them and try to make them grow as a company as well. So what we did last year, we did another business initiative to encourage small companies to compete in UNEP. I think UN procurement system. I believe that's what's happening. Yeah. So we allow small companies to enter into that market.
The global marketplace, UN global
Yes.
marketplace.
Yes.
UNGM.
Global marketplace, and we allow them to compete in that market and try to sell the green products in other parts of the world. So,
but
yeah.
are you monitoring? Are you monitoring the market transformation? Are you monitoring how through GPP you transform markets?
Yes, in terms of fiscal numbers, we are monitoring, and by monitoring the fiscal numbers, we are actually monitoring the transformation of our market as well. Yeah.
Okay, and Lanchak on this is asking a question: are the GPP reporting and non-GPP reporting in the same platform? the ones that are GPP reporting and the ones that are non-GPP reporting in terms of contracting authorities, are they in the same electronic platform?
No, it's separate. It's separate. And our system, what I call the hold on. Yeah, Green Product Information Platform. That is only for green products.
Okay.
But in PPS, we also have a PPS site where we allow, eco-label companies to compete in the procurement market. We allow them to enter into that competition as well. So it's both. There's a PPS site and also Green Product Information Platform site.
Okay.
It's two different things, but
it's CONEPS.
Yeah,
CONEPS is PPS. CONEPS.
CONEPS is Green Product Information Platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Thank you. I don't see any other questions, so I go on.
We have a few questions, sorry, in the chat.
Then go on. Sorry, Sophie.
Yes, we have quite a lot. Mr. Manki Kim from Korea was asking if you could just explain what you mentioned with regard to the competition between the procurement from women-owned businesses and the Green Public Procurement.
Yeah. So the system we have in Korea, so among the public institutions, we have to set a target for each market. So let's say there are, market for green or green public procurement, and there are other markets like woman-led enterprises, and also people with disability. So like market for products made by people with disability. So all that those markets are government driven, and those markets are competing each other. But at the same time, each public government has to set a goal for sustainable procurement system. And all this conflicting or competing system has to, somehow harmonize into one big system. But so far, we are having trouble with the system right now. And because based on the numbers that we get from the market, we are graded by the I think the office or Ministry of Finance. So Ministry of Finance examines each SPP guideline, and they grade based on the SPP. So all these markets are competing with each other, and it's quite difficult for public institutions to really manage well. Sometimes you have to buy products from the woman-led enterprises. Sometimes you have to buy green products. Sometimes you have to buy products from people made by the people with disabilities. So all this, it's quite hard to manage for each public institutions.
If I may add, the issue is that there are competing policies. So contracting authorities they are subjected to different policies, and procurers then have to abide and they have to comply with different policies, and they get lost, you know. So the issue is
Yeah.
how we harmonize the policies. And it's not an issue just in Korea, it's the international problem that we noted globally. Yeah. Right. Sophie, I think we have to take the questions from the top. So the first one I see is from Hiro-san.
I cannot see it, so can you read it?
I can see it, yeah, of course. Great presentation, Mr. Joon. How do Korea's trade obligations feature in your analysis? Have there been sectoral opportunities for you to leverage your expertise in GPP? Is the question clear, or shall I read it again?
Can you read it again?
Yeah. How do Korea's trade obligations feature in your analysis? Have there been sectoral, for example, question sectoral opportunities for you to leverage your expertise in GPP?
In terms of trading, we have not been so successful in terms of international trading and whatnot. So we allow, you know, small businesses. So I think it's called SMPP, right? To enter into, you know, let's say UNEP procurement market. And because of the, you know, price or the quality or whatnot, we weren't very successful, and it takes a lot of money to for a company to enter into that market, because you have to pay like a fee to enter into that trading option, I think. So so small SMPPs, we tried to give them some, you know, supports to really, you know, try and enter compete with the other global organizations, but I think it wasn't so successful. I think am I answering your question right? I'm not sure.
Sophie, can you unmute Hiro?
I think the question was sent out by Ms. Susan Brown Shafi.
No, I see. See, sorry. Yeah. Sorry for that. You're right. It's just Hiro was just saying hi, and Miss Brown Shafi sent the question. Sorry for that. So can you unmute Miss Brown Shafi?
Yes, just a minute, please. Okay,
Hi.
Ms. Brown Shafi, you're unmuted now.
Hi, thanks for that, Mr. Junyan. That basically answers my question. I just was interested to hear about the international market access opportunities that might have come your way, because
Can you introduce yourself? Who are you, Miss Brown Shafi?
I'm a consultant based in Geneva.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, so basically we try to encourage small SMPP, you know, small companies to really strive for the market. And because of the size of the company, we weren't very successful.
Okay, thank you. I have a question from Dr. Jaeyeon. He says, thank you for interesting info. Can you kindly advise how to increase GPP in the countries that do not have strong eco-labels program? That's also a very interesting question for UNEP. You know, countries that do not have a strong eco-label program, do you think it's possible to increase GPP? And then in addition, in many countries, procurement will cover product, services, and works. Any idea, any advice how to increase green works? And this is a question we have also because with the green recovery programs, we would like also to increase the percentage of GPP in works. So in Korea, are you also aware of this market and working also on green works? Thank you.
I am sorry, I only got the first question right, so I will just answer.
Okay, so first question is
question.
on eco-label. The second one is on works, because we usually procure products, services, and works. I'm talking about infrastructures here, buildings, right?
Oh, okay.
Do you work also in green buildings, in green infrastructures in Korea? And what is the, yeah, and how can we increase that? Okay,
All
so
right.
2 questions. Eco-label program, is it key? Is it important?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how do we do in countries that do not have that? Thank you.
Okay, so eco-label, it's very important because it distinguishes what's, what's green product and what's not. So once this product is labeled as a green product, then this product becomes a green product. So and then what KEITI does is that we manage the number of that product, and we also manage the net profit of that certain product. We collect all that numbers, and that's called, that's basically what's called monitoring and reporting. So I think yes, you can't really do GPP without, I believe, yeah, you can't do GPP without eco-labeling. And also, we have a I think we have like an international code for eco-label, right, Farid?
Yes, of course, many.
Yeah. So when we do trade with other countries, that becomes a backbone for equal quality of products. So yeah, so making the guideline for eco-labeling would be very important of managing GPP.
Thank you. And green
also,
infrastructures? Yeah, please go ahead.
So green buildings, we also have the labeling or eco-labeling marks for green buildings. So if you use that certain amount of green products, and if you have, let's say, like green product lightings and green product asphalt concrete, then that becomes a green building. And KEITI also does KEITI supervises the green building system as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, we do that work as well. And we also do. There's a office called Office of Eco Declare Office. I think that's giving guideline for low carbon products. So there's eco-labeling for green products, and also there's eco-labeling for green building, and there's eco-labeling for low carbon works.
That was my question, Joon. Do you use your GPP policy to contribute to your GHG or climate change policy? And your answer.
It's all included in the climate change policies, and yeah.
And that's how you monitor the reduction of emissions, right?
Yeah.
Through GPP policy. Okay.
Yeah. So every year we do a massive paper on the year-long records of how the money spent on GPP. So that's I think it's 20 pages long, and it basically says how much we buy out in terms of green products, and how much it helps in terms of reducing CO2. Yeah, that information is all included in that paper.
Thank you. Any other questions? Please feel free to put your question in the chat box. My other question is, are you following the expansion of GPP or GP, green procurement, in the private sector? How is it progressing there?
We do have tracking records of private sector as well. So, but it's not very accurate. So compared to public, procurement of green products, it's very minimal. The impacts and the recording system as well. So yeah, in private sectors, because it's a private company, they're hesitant to open up their booking and their profits. So we asked them to provide the numbers of green products each year, but they're very hesitant.
But maybe that's the monitoring, but how is it progressing, the practice of green procurement among, for example, the chaebols, and do you have any feedback on that?
I can't really say for sure because we don't have a monitoring system for the private sector. But since we have our country as a whole has started a what's called I can't really translate net zero initiative. I think it's what it's called. So making carbon zero is what our country is thriving for. And we want to make carbon emission zero by 2050, which is, similar to other countries' initiative.
And you will use procurement for that. Green procurement will be one of the
green
tools.
Procurement, and we also have what's called green market. So we have many big retailers that supplies green products, and also the Ministry of Government really pushes or force private sectors like private retailers to supply green products. And although we don't have a tracking system to monitor those records for the private sectors, we do push the private sectors to really invest money or really push for to try to sell green products. So yeah.
Do you track the exports? Do you track the exports of green products?
We don't have a tracking system, but because it's up to the private retailers, it's really up to them whether they open up their books or not. So most retailers are open to opening up their profits and whatnot, but some are not, and I'm not sure if that's accurate as well. So it's not very accurate, I think.
But you could check the customs. You could have the customs figures. Exporting means it has to go through the border, and you have the countries have the numbers. Yeah. Okay.
That's a big number.
This is something we can work on. The international level. Okay. Sophie, I'm back to you. I think if we don't have any more questions.
We had a question from our KEITI colleague, from Ms. Chung Yumi. She's saying that it seems like the limited offer in green products is one of the biggest obstacles for GPP. So what measures could be taken or are already taken to solve this problem?
So it's a number of green products, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
The-
So each year we, I mean, it's not my job, but it's, you know, KEITI is in charge of giving eco-label to, you know, green products. So they are doing a lot of work in terms of allowing eco-label products to grow. And yeah, since the start of the you know, net zero carbon net zero initiative, our country has really pushed to, you know, go much greener compared to the past. And I think the government's initiative or aims was to make the green products increase in the market as well. So KEITI is trying very hard to increase that number of eco-labeled product as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we do not have other questions in the chat. Oh, we have one from Dr. Choi, who's just came here. Circular economy is becoming an issue in the region. What do you think? How they integrate and effectively move GPP or ICP forward? So in my understanding from this question is how is GPP or sustainable consumption and production moved forward as in relation to circular economy?
Well, you know, I believe it's all in the circular economy. It's a big picture, I believe, and I think GPP has been a driving force to, you know, achieve circular economy, I believe. And you know, we actually use that term a lot in terms of making our company or our country greener, using more good recycled products. And yeah, that's I believe GPP has been a main key or a driving force to achieve circular economy.
And you have a specific label, right, for a recycled product?
Right. So green products, they we have 3 different labels. So the first one is I'm not sure what it's called in Korean. Let me see. Yeah, I don't have it on top of my head right now, but environmental eco-labeled products, and we have good recycled product, and also the third one, which is new, is the low carbon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's the news. You have
yeah,
you used to have like environmental, you had recycle, and now you have low carbon.
Yeah, low carbon is a key, and it's a new one, and it's we are very excited because we implemented into a GPP system since the beginning of the year, and those products is not only it's more of a sustainable lifestyle. So we have products like water, you know, Powerade, or food, stuff like that. They're all low carbon products.
Thank you very much. Sophie, I think we have to move towards the end, the closing.
Yes.
More questions?
No more questions in the chat. So thank you very much, Mr. Joon Sung-han, for such an intense and interesting presentation. Farid, would you like to say a few words in closing?
Yes, I'd like also to thank Mr. Joon An for really a very comprehensive presentation. We knew about the Korean experience, of course, myself, but maybe not all the attendees, and we had a very good participation. And I think we reached our goal, which is to really dive in, not just look at the in surface and in general terms, but really look at the issues, discuss, get your feedback, understand, your challenges and how you're tackling them. So all this, I think, will be integrated in the note, the report we're going to produce on the webinar, and that will be available for you and for the network. So I think we're happy because we have achieved our goal, and I guess we'd like to hear your feedback from the participants on this webinar, but I'm sure it will be positive. And this is how we are going to continue our series of webinars. And I inform those of you who were not there at the beginning that we're going to have thematic presentations as well as geographical country-based presentations. So Sophie, remind us about the next date.
Yes, at the end of September. Let me check. We will have a first session on sustainable infrastructure on the 28th of September.
So this is the question we had on green infrastructures. Then it will be really timely to discuss it.
Yes, and we also have another session planned on the 30th of November on green eco-efficient cooling appliances. And this colleague who is presenting this session will also at a later date present a session on public lighting, which I believe Mr. An also mentioned as an important feature in moving forward green infrastructure.
Thank you very much, Sophie. And we give the last word to a colleague from KEITI, maybe Miss Yumi.
Thank you for your presentation, Anne, and then of course for our colleagues from the UNEP. It was very meaningful for me to learn about the Korean case in details, as well as getting a lot of interesting questions and answering the questions. I get to think of a lot of different aspects of the GPT. Thank you for organizing this again, and thank you for making a great presentation for Mr. An. And I look forward to the next session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you to all attendees. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And it is recorded. You will have it online. Thank you, Mr. An.
Thank you.